What is up, guys? Stark here. I am back for another Fate video, and in today's video we are going to be doing the calendar video for March 2021. So March is a really big month for Fate because we're going to get one of the key servants for the year, at least in my opinion anyway. We're going to get one of the big, one of the big 3 or 4 servants in the year that I do think that most people will be rolling for. However, at the same time, March really is kind of a very straightforward month. There's really not a whole lot going on until we get to that big servant, which is going to be Kama, as you guys can see from the backdrop there with Kama, and you can also see her picture there on the 23rd of March. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot else to talk about in the month of March. Of course, there are other banners, so we will talk about them, but it's a very streamlined month, and really the only thing that's really different is the Chaldea Boys. But for what it's worth, it's still a good month. Kama, and it's a good thing though, because Kama is a really good servant, and I think a lot of people have been waiting for Kama and have skipped other banners in the hopes of getting Kama. So the fact that March comes out with really not a whole lot else to pull for, that kind of is really good for Kama people. So you can spend all your quartz on Kama and not have to worry about too much else besides that. Of course, if you were going for King Protea, you would have already spent your quartz by now, but that could have taken some sort of a hit on your total quartz. Me personally, I basically used everything I had to get Protea, so I have to start over again to save up for Kama. Anyway though, we'll go ahead and talk about the overall month, and then we'll go back and talk about it a little bit at the end to kind of have like a wrap up. So the first is today, of course, the first day of the month, and we do have quite a few banners that are actually available at this point in time. Now, we do have the leftovers of the CCC event, so we have King Protea's banner, of course, and we also do have Melt's banner. So we have Melt, Passion Lip, Demia, Suzuka all rated up, and we also have King Protea, Tristan, and Gawain rated up at the same time. So quite a few characters here, and there's not really a whole lot of change for these banners because the Melt banner is on its last legs, so it's about to go away, so all the servants are rated up there at the end. And the Protea banner is also about halfway through its run, so you know, at this point, anyone who would have already pulled for any of the characters they already want to, and it doesn't really have too much of a change going forward. So March 2nd, everything stays exactly the same, and on the 3rd of March, the only difference is that Tristan goes away from his banner, and King Protea and Gawain are rated up on that banner. The 4th will be the exact same as the 3rd, and the 5th, the only major change here is going to be that Gawain and Tristan swap out, and this will be the same for the 6th. Now the 7th, Gawain comes back, so you have all 3 of those characters rated up at the same time. And on Melt's banner, this is the final day for Melt. So if you did want any of those 4 characters, then this is going to be your final opportunity to do so. The 8th will see all 3 of the characters rated up on Protea's banner, and this will be the final day to pull for any of those 3 characters on that banner, as they will go away at the end of the day on the 8th. Starting on March 9th, or at least I assume it's going to start on March 9th, right after the King Protea banner ends, we will get the Chaldea Boys collection banner, which features the Archer of Shinjuku rated up with different male servants every single day. This works pretty much exactly the same as the Valentine's Day banner for the females, except for this, we don't get a brand new servant, we just have returning servants. So you do have the Archer of Shinjuku. I might have called him the Assassin earlier, but it's the Archer of Shinjuku, the Prince of Landling, and then the Assassin of Shinjuku rated up. And these 3 will be rated up throughout the entirety of the event. So they'll be rated up on every single day of the banner. But outside of that, there will also be a featured servant alongside the other 3 that will be rated up each day. Now the first day is just going to be these 3, but then after that, you'll have different servants. So on the 10th, we have our first servant, and that is going to be Achilles. And each day it swaps out for a different servant. So I'm just kind of power right through these here. So on the 11th, we have Vlad. On the 12th, we have Tesla. The 13th, we have Enkidu. The 14th, we have Old Man Lee. The 15th, we have Arjuna. The 16th, we have Ku Alter. The 17th, we have Waver. The 18th, we have Sheng Yu. The 19th, we have Ozzy. The 20th, we have Karna. And the 21st, we have Napoleon, which is going to be the final of the male servants rated up. And then for the 22nd, which is the final day of the banner, it's just going to go back to being the 3 characters that were featured the entirety of the event. So moving on to the 23rd, again, this is just a guess on my part based on the Japanese schedule, but it seems pretty likely that around this time anyway that we are going to get Kama to finally come to Global or NA or whatever you want to call this version of the game, and Kama will come out alongside Parvati. And the thing is that these 2 characters are rated up the entire event, so there's really not a whole lot to talk about outside of that. So there's no individual rate ups, there's no individual like servants coming in to have their own day. It's Kama and Parvati, and they're going to be rated up the entirety of their event. So the 23rd, the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, they're all going to be the same, so there's really nothing to talk about there. Now on the 29th, you still do have Kama's banner, but we are going to get part 2 of the banners for Kama's event, because Kama does come out with a brand new event, and I believe you have to have Lost Belt 3 completed in order to take part in that. So make sure you guys are doing that and get that done. You do still have a bit of time in order to get that completed. Anyway, we do have another banner coming out, and this is going to bring out Kiara, the caster of the Nightless City, and Yagyu Munenori. And this will be the same for the 30th and the 31st, so this concludes all the servants rated up for the month of March. So as for my personal opinions on the month of March, there's really only one key date, and that is going to be the 23rd. Whenever Kama comes out, that is the key date, the most important date of the month of March, and in my opinion, the only date anyone should be pulling for on this month. Now, if you didn't get Protea, then that's an exception, because you could pull for Protea. I'm okay with that, but I do believe anyone who wanted her has already since pulled and has either failed or succeeded in getting her. I guess maybe some people might be waiting to get paid or just to get a couple extra dollars so they can go ahead and roll for that. But at this point, if you don't have Protea, I think you just kind of cut your losses and just save for Kama. She is one of the best assassins in the game, and she's a really popular character as well. So, yeah, I do think a lot of people, myself included, are going to be pulling for her. Now, on a personal side note, I am going to be pulling for Kama whenever she comes out, and I'm also going to be doing my face reveal for those pulls. So, if you guys are interested in that, go over to my Twitch page. I'll be doing it live on Twitch, and you guys can see my beautiful face, which isn't that beautiful. But anyway, that is going to happen, so that's a big thing. The other thing that I want to talk about for the month of March is going to be the Battle of Fate Grand Order, which I'll be running on my channel starting tomorrow, so make sure you check that out. They're going to just be like one-on-one matches where you guys vote for the characters you guys prefer, and we'll see who becomes the winner of the Battle of Fate Grand Order. So I'm really excited for that series. I really hope you guys are excited for it as well, and I hope everyone is enjoying it and voting, and you know, hopefully the characters you guys vote for win and make it pretty far into the tournament. But that's a separate thing. You know, that'll start tomorrow. I just wanted to mention it briefly here because it's a pretty big thing for me on my channel. So outside of Kama, I don't really see too much else here. The Chaldea Boys collection is really, in my opinion, not worth pulling for at all. Pretty much all of these servants are either like non-limited servants, so you can pull them at any point in time, or there's going to just be some other way of getting those, or some better banner for those characters. And really at this point, if you don't have waiver, either just pull for him. I'm pretty sure he's rated up again later on this year, and if you can't get him, you can get him with a free ticket. Next year we get a free 5-star ticket, and Waver's one of the people that you could pick. So, you know, at this point I wouldn't chase Waver. If you've made it this far without him, you can wait a little bit longer and just go ahead and claim him with your free 5-star ticket at that point. Yeah, Kiara is decent. She's gotten better, but the banner itself isn't that good, and she comes out alongside Kama, so I would recommend pulling for Kama instead of Kiara. And there's really not that much else to talk about here, so that's my personal opinion. Of course, if you guys have other servants you'd rather pull for, by all means go ahead and pull for the servants you guys wish to pull for, but that is just my plan. My plan is to pull for Kama, and that's it. So guys, you probably won't be seeing too many summoning videos from me outside of that. But that's fine because I'm focusing on the Battle of Fate Grand Order anyway, so most of my content this month will be centered around that. Of course, I will have other videos based on like the current content coming out. So Kama's event, I'll have videos for that. Kama herself, I'll have videos for that. A lot of it's about Kama, but there will be other stuff coming out through the month of March, just not too many poll videos. So I hope you guys don't mind. Anyway, that wraps up this calendar video. I know it's a little bit longer than most, but I don't know, I just had a lot to talk about, I guess. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below which characters you guys are excited for in the month of March and which ones you guys are pulling for. And I also do have the links below to my Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and Discord, so feel free to check those out, and I'll see you guys next time.